It's about 8:20 on Monday the 30th of September, and I'm going to be riding this bike, fingers crossed, high chance I'll be riding this bike on Friday at Donington and then racing the final round on Saturday and Sunday. Just a couple of jobs left to do. As you can probably see, the tank cover turned up. It's absolutely amazing, and that is just the glass fibre finish. That is how it comes from Moto Carbon. So I think I ordered it direct from Moto Carbons, ended up costing me about £215, but it's really nice quality. A little bit of a faff on to get it to fit, and I've actually added some brackets on the side because it was sticking out quite a lot, but much better than having a separate tank extender, because where the airbox cover and the tank extender all went together, it was all a little bit messy. Anyway, a couple of jobs left to do, so need to bleed the rear brake. Big thanks to Dale again at Race Talks. Sent me up like a little reservoir tube kit, so we'll have to bleed that backwards. So I use a big suspension syringe, so I'll show you how to do that. And then we're going to start putting the graphics on. The seat unit is away getting painted. Just gloss black to match this, along with the front mud guard. So yeah, let's bleed this rear brake. So here we have my syringe. It's a big one. 60ml I think it is, so obviously fill it with brake fluid, make sure there's no air, then get it on the bleed nipple. I always squeeze a little bit as I sort of put it on, just to try and get rid of any air bubbles. To like sort of fill the nipple up, if that makes sense. And then try and squeeze it on. And crack the nipple off, then just push it in. This is a reservoir tube, so once we've filled it up with fluid, job should be a good one. Oh, you dancer. So that has only used about 10ml, but I can see it's actually full of air bubbles, which is obviously not great. So I'll let it settle for a minute, and then I'll go on the thumb brake and see whether it's see whether there's any brake there. It's now 11:30, as you might be able to see behind me. I'm a good way through doing the graphics, got the belly pan to do and the seat unit, but I won't get to do that until the seat unit and the front mudguard come back from paint. So I'll see you when they come back from paint. It's been a good day. Been to the hospital, they've discharged me. Been to see Mick, and he said that the tubes on the forks are on the limit, but they are usable. Wah! Wah! Woo! Now, I'm not sure what part of a Fireblade these are for. I mean, some, they're the lock stops, but the rest of it, I've got no idea. There's a few bolts there, which means that things might not be properly attached. But it's complete, so let's go and take a look. Well, there she is, guys. What are we saying? Does it look brand new? Well, it basically is brand new. I mean, there's not many parts we've carried over. Engine and wheels, rear shock, swing arm. That's about it. But she's together. So I'll turn the camera on so it's proper and I'll do a nice slow-mo. So, I suppose you're all wondering, just how much does it cost to crash a 2024 Fireblade a long way north of 100 mile an hour? Well, I'm going to tell you. Luckily for you, I'm the type of guy who lives his life one spreadsheet at a time, so I'll take you through some of my biggest costs. Before we start though, there's a couple of things that I'd like to make clear. Number one, the Fireblade is not my bike. A couple of sponsors all clubbed together and bought it for me to use. Obviously, the rule is, if you bend it, you mend it, so regardless of who is to blame for the crash, although I'm going with no oil in the front forks, it wouldn't have been crashed if I wasn't riding it. I didn't know there was a fault with the bike, and I thought the feelings I was experiencing were traits of a Fireblade. Lesson learnt there, trust your gut. Number two, obviously I was liable to pay for the damage to hold up my end of the bargain. The suspension guy didn't want to know about his mistake. And in that vein, thank you very much again to Mick Shanley at MSRD, or Mick Shanley Race Development, who I've used since I started racing to sort out the suspension on my bikes, and I'll continue to do so. Lastly, massive thank you everyone who helped with the rebuild costs through my crowdfunder. Together you've helped make this less of a burden. Anyway, enough of the formalities, let's get on with how much all of this cost. So I should probably just go through what part I bought and where I got them from. So as I said, I've got an Excel sheet, so let's go through it. I got a lot of parts from Jackson Racing. Alan was definitely the cheapest for quite a few of the bits, especially the bigger parts, so thank you Alan for that, otherwise my rebuild costs would have been a lot higher. So my yokes, £504, frame £2,400, the TT screen £60, left hand switch gear £228, right hand switch gear £144, dash cases £120, lock stops £51, dash protector £160, front brake reservoir and bracket £40. Then I got some parts from Reactive Parts, so fairing brackets £43, front mudguard £54, HRC overflow bottles £18. Then STP race products, rear subframe £300, front subframe £180. My exhaust was repaired by Market MHP, £175. Exhaust hanger, I went with an Evotech one, £60. A few more bits that I got from Jackson's actually. Clip-on tubes, £142. Front brake lever and adjuster, £192. Spider foot pegs, £80. All my engine protection stuff. So I'm on a sponsorship scheme with GB Racing, but it's not 100% free. So £201 from GB Racing. Some rental grips, £18, thumb brake repair, so again big thanks to Dale at Race Talks, really helped me out. Basically every part of the thumb brake was bent, but that was £250. I bought a new second-hand steering damper, £67 from eBay. I also bought a clutch perch from eBay. The Fireblade clutch perch from 2008 onwards is the same, so I saved a bit of money there, that was only £15. Clutch cable and dash fixings, Obviously they were Honda parts. I bought them through my local motorcycle shop, Hartlepool Motorcycle Service Centre. Richie, who you've probably seen in some of my vlogs, who does the mechanicing at race weekends. That was £46. One piece tank cover, so by the time I paid all the import duty and stuff, it was about 215 quid. My front wheel was fixed by Motorliner, very reasonable, £127 including return postage. Rear axle pull cup and spacer, so that was from L74, £64. Graphics, Tommy Hill Promotions, ran a second set of graphics for me at 300 quid. Easy grips at £40. Then on top of that, you've got fairings, which I haven't bought yet, but no matter where you buy them, for the 2024 Fireblade, they're about £1,000. And then on top of that, I obviously ended up buying another set of forks and a shock, which obviously, that was an expensive way of going about it, but obviously I wanted to get it built for the final round so I could kind of try and put all this behind me. So by the time I've sold the internals, so the K-Tech DDS internals that were in my forks originally, which there's nothing wrong with, Mick will vouch for that, they're still at Mick's, so I haven't actually got them for sale. The rear shock, which I've actually already put on eBay, I hope all of it will come in at about £9,500, somewhere on there, which, considering, you know, I've had to replace a frame, I don't think it's too bad. I've been lucky in that I get a bit of help from various suppliers, so I get things at a, you know, a reduced cost, which has certainly made things more doable. You know, in the moment when I crashed that bike, and to be honest, in the garage, I realised the full extent of how bad it really was. You know, luckily the engine was okay, because for those of you that aren't aware, the 2024 Fireblade has a different engine and frame to all the previous Fireblades, so that's why it wasn't really an option just to go and buy somebody else's Fireblade and, you know, make it a 24. It's not as simple as that, and the 24 Fireblades are few and far between, especially second-hand parts. Luckily, a lot of the other parts are the same, so like the racing parts, so exhaust, clip-on, subframes, all that's the same from all the bikes. Anyway, massive thank you to all the suppliers who I just named, you know, for helping me get the show back on the road, so to speak. If you enjoyed the video, found it interesting, please like and subscribe. You know, it takes a fair bit of effort to put these videos together, but in a way I've actually enjoyed doing this rebuild video, not the actual editing, but it's something that I can look back on in, you know, in years to come, and you know, see that we got over it okay. So got a little bit more video of the bike to play, and that's it. So thank you very much for watching. Hopefully I haven't just woke the baby. Like and subscribe, comment, share, do all that stuff. Thanks for watching.